Hello and welcome to the Sound Lab podcast interviews unedited. On today's show, we have interviews from Atreyu, St.Arnaud, the Grahams and Judith Owen, plus we throw back to 2021 to chat to HRVY. So without further ado, let's kick off with our first interview of the show, and it comes from Atreyu. They've got a new album out this week, and we had a chat with them all about it. So Atreyu, how are you?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad. Thanks so much. So we've been playing a single of yours called All For You. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
I mean, this is a song that was sort of early on in the writing process, but it was, when you have the one and you just know that's the one. It was one of those songs that, like, no matter who we played it to, family, friends, the record label, whoever, everyone was always like, "Oh, that's a good song." Just something felt special about it. I feel like it really kind of encompasses the, like, big rock side of Atreyu, but also has, like, really all the elements of Atreyu that are important in our DNA. So yeah, it's a fun song. Glad it's finally out.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's coming off your new record, The End Is Not The End, which is coming out 24th of April. What can we expect to hear on the record?
A bunch of great songs. No, I feel like it's good. I mean, this record is sort of us sitting down and having the conversation of what are the important parts of our band, what are the reasons we have had success to start with, what are our favorite parts and what are our least favorite parts, and sort of making an album that is only consisting of our favorite parts of the band, you know?
Yeah, nice. And the sound that you've made with this record, is it the sound you wanted, or is it kind of just how it turned out as you were writing and recording it?
It was very intentional. I think that it was exactly what we wanted to do, even sonically, just the way we made the record, with our producer Matt Pauling. Like, we wanted to take a very sort of an opposition to the modern approach and the modern sound of hard rock or metal records. Not overproduce everything and not oversample everything, and just kind of keep things as real and for lack of a better term, old school as we could. And it was intentional, and it was honestly hard to stay committed to it, because you live in a modern world where you can do all these fun tricks. And it's like, no. Like, restraint was a big common sort of reminder.
Yeah, and you've covered, as in Atreyu, you've covered a whole breadth of genres from the pop punk side all the way up to the heavier stuff. What made you go down this route for this record?
I just think that we felt that that's what we wanted to do. You know what I mean? It just felt like the right move, and it's the music we wanted to make. And beyond that, it was just sort of like letting feeling guide us. It wasn't super overthought. I think all the elements that we ended up sort of incorporating into this album and sort of like putting back to the forefront of the band were just, like I said, our favorite parts of our DNA. And beyond that, it was just kind of like letting feeling take us there.
Yeah, fair enough. And I'm sure you wrote more than what made it onto this record. What happens to those now? Is it a case of trying them again down the line, or is it a case of binning them off and starting again?
I feel like most of the time they end up getting just binned, and it's over. But I will say, for on this album, it's very, very rare. The song "Ego Death" was actually a two-time attempt. We had written "Ego Death" on San Juan Island, and it's sort of like just didn't make all the sense that we wanted it to, and didn't kind of fit in the landscape of the album. So when we went to write "Ego Death" again, or what became "Ego Death" again, it was like we had written this song that was sort of like chaotic and better suited to pair with the concept of "Ego Death." So we kind of just took the concept lyrically of the song and adapted it and rewrote it. But that's the only thing that's sort of like reintroduced itself, obviously. And also, another part of Ego Death ended up becoming the first Ego Death, ended up becoming what would have been the intro to the album. So we sort of like took our favorite parts and recycled them.
Yeah, nice. Do you ever look back to the early days and look at stuff that never made it out into the public domain and think, oh, I might use that going forward?
Kind of. I mean, I feel like as a musician, especially this day and age, you have 9,000 voice notes on your phone. 8,250 of which you forgot about. So you definitely take that trip down memory lane every now and again. But I think more so we have some like a couple of songs that were released sort of under the radar, or like that are like, oh, that would have been cool if it had a chance to have its day in the sun. But there's always opportunities to kind of re-release things and re-record things or whatever you have, what have you.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to talk about the writing process as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
It sort of just falls out of the sky. There's, I think with me specifically, I'll usually wake up in the morning and think of something will be in my head that'll turn into a concept, and I usually will start with a concept or a lyric first, or just some semblance of a melody first. And when we write as a band, we just sit at a table and everyone kind of roundhouses their ideas, and this is what I have today, and we sort of pick with the one that's most intriguing to all of us. But yeah, a lot of it, like it's funny because I've tried to talk about my writing process before, and like a lot of it legitimately just sort of seems to fall out of the sky. There's no like rhyme or reason, but I think that's sort of the best way to create art. You know what I mean? It almost ends up creating itself. That's not to say you're not putting thought into these ideas and lyrics and all these things, but especially when we write, there's definitely something special in the room, that sort of just opens the floodgates and sort of just like waterfalls ideas between us.
Hmm. Yeah, and when you go into the room with the other guys, you've obviously probably got the vocals all kind of in mind. Is it quite collaborative still, and you can have influence over like the guitar and the drums and things, and vice versa, they can have impact on vocals?
Very much so. I think everyone is very much included in everything. Like I said, I might have like a line, you know what I mean, of a chorus or something or a little idea, and we'll all start attacking it. And sometimes it's me that has the melody, sometimes Dan will have the melody, or a guitar riff a lot of times. And then a lot of times if someone else has an idea, my brain will immediately go to like pick up a guitar and be like, and this happens next. You know what I mean? Like, so you just kind of like are thinking out loud a lot of the times, but it's very, very much collaborative. Like everyone in the band, writes lyrics. Everyone in the band writes the music, guitar, drums. Myself and our drummer Kyle both played on the new album. There's a song where he played drums and I played cymbals. It's ridiculous, but like it's very, very much collaborative.
Yeah, nice. And you've been around for what, 25, 30 years almost now.
Mhm.
How have you and how has the music evolved over those years?
For us, or just in the music in general.
For you guys.
I think that for us, it's sort of just like you're always learning, you're always searching for new ideas and new inspiration. I think that now more than ever, I think we have a pretty clear picture of what the existence of our band means and who we are. And I think it's just you're always just learning how to operate on a higher level, and at least that's something that we always really try to accomplish, is just doing what we do, but on a higher level, like sort of just stepping up to the plate every time. And I think that being in a band that's had the longevity that we have, and we've been really fortunate to have, we owe it to our music and to our career and to fans to like constantly just try and be better.
Yeah, most definitely. And you've got a couple of weeks left before you head out on tour across North America. I bet you can't wait to be doing some more shows.
Absolutely, it's gonna be fun to play some of these new songs, and we've been home pretty much since the end of last year, so definitely gonna be fun to get back on the road.
Yeah, and it's been a little bit longer than that since you came over here to the UK and to Europe, but nothing else booked on the cards at the moment for that. What's the plans for
Um,
coming back over this way?
yeah, we might have like a little something special in London coming up, but for the most part, like as far as the grand touring spectrum, probably won't be till next year.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's a shame, but hopefully
I know, I
London
know.
will be fun. So you must be surely because the album's coming out, you'll be wanting to do as much touring as you can this year. Where are you hoping to get to this year then?
This year is going to mostly be focused on the States, and then next year we'll be kind of looking more intensely into Europe, Australia, the rest of the world. So sort of just you're always sort of dealt the cards you're dealt, and you have to sort of organize those things as they lay out. So, but yeah, so we're especially after the last tour we just did with the Curse tour, like we can't wait to get back to Europe and UK. Like it was such a fun time, and the amount of love and success that tour gave us was a good feeling. So we want to come back for sure.
Yeah. Is there anywhere that you've not been to yet that you want to get to at some point?
Absolutely. We haven't been to quite a few countries, like Asian countries. We've only done a handful of countries in South America and Latin America. You know, there's plenty on the list to knock off.
Yeah, and I'd like to talk a little bit about show day as well. So for you specifically, what's your show day like from the moment you get up until till show and afterwards as well?
I'm usually probably one of the last people to wake up, just because I usually have a pretty good trouble falling asleep at night. Um, but wake up, get some coffee, maybe have a walk. If we're somewhere cool, we'll walk around and get food or see the sights. If we're in the States, usually we'll try to go to the gym every day, just to break up the monotony a little bit and get moving. As far as like pre-show, I'm probably one of the least regimented humans on earth. Um, I rarely warm up my voice or my body at all. I just usually will put on some music, get show ready and sort of like maybe have a drink, have, a good conversation with the guys and if my voice feels good, I can usually tell by middle of the day. If my voice is feeling a little rough, I might, do a little bit of a steam or a shower or some little warm up things here and there. But for the most part, it's just kind of like getting in the mental headspace to go out and crush a show.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anything that you have to do kind of immediately before a show starts to get you ready to perform, or anything
I
that you
do.
don't do?
Yeah, I mean, I do want. I said, I literally, it's funny. I saw this thing with Corey Taylor, where Corey Taylor shows like his pre-show thing, and it's funny. Mine's almost identical. It's like literally like a 10-second thing where I just can tell if my voice is good or not. Where I'll do like, and then I'll scream, and it's like, okay, if I can sing all those notes comfortably and the scream comes out, we're good to go. But if I don't do that before we play, I have the nerves of the unknown, where I'm like, oh, I didn't know if I saw if it worked or not yet, like, but yeah.
Have you ever sang those notes and screamed and it not work? And then what have you done
Oh
after
yeah.
that?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's times where it's never just not worked. If it doesn't work, I usually know before then, and I'm like, on vocal rest and steaming during the day and drinking tea. But it's always just like when my voice does feel comfortable, it's just that reassurance that it's like, all right, we're good to go. There's no weird spots in my voice, and we all hug too. The hug is very important before the show. We all have like a pre-show chant, and then we all make sure we hug each other. And if we don't, it's very weird. If we don't get the opportunity to hug, it most definitely fucks up at least the first few songs of the set.
And what is it that you chant? What is it?
Um, it changes. For the most part, it's what do we want? Butts. What are we gonna do? Fuck them. Yeah,
Nice,
a little
nice,
inside look to the brilliant minds of Atreyu.
original as well. I love it.
Yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Atreyu. Now, we are all over social media, so come and find us at The Sound Lab, yes, on all the socials. You can also check out the website at thesoundlabuk.co.uk. So while you go and find us on all the socials and give us some follows, of course, we've got our next interview from St.Arnaud. He's been busy releasing some new music, and we had a chat with him all about it. So, St.Arnaud, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad. So we've been playing a single of yours called Midwest Superstardom. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Amazing. Thanks for the spins. Midwest Superstardom is kind of an ode to, are you okay with being a regional musician? It's kind of that point between playing cover songs at your local pub and being Taylor Swift. There's a big gap in the middle, and you kind of go, is this it? Do I get to come play London or play Cardiff every couple of years and play my Canadian cities? Is this enough?
No, yeah, that makes sense. And you touched on touring, but I'll get onto that in a bit because we need to talk about your new record, which is also called St.Arnaud, and it's out now. Tell us a bit about the record for those who've not had a chance to listen to it yet.
Sure thing. Well, it's self-titled, and it's there's no one theme through it. It's really just a collection of songs from the past couple of years of my life that I felt were finally indicative of what I want this project to be. It kind of felt like we've matured enough that I want to go stamp, yes, this is it. This is who we are. And there's lots of upbeat kind of indie rock, uh, folk flavors, and a little bit of white boy soul.
Nice. And the sound that you made with the record, is it the sound you wanted, or is it kind of how it turned out as you were writing and recording it?
I don't think you ever aim at exactly what you want it to be, but I've learned to kind of let go of that and not go, I'm going to make a country album. I'm going to make a soul album. You kind of just make song by song and you decide later if they fit together. For example, Midwest Superstardom, it's kind of a country song, isn't it?
Hmm. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, but there is a nice mix on the record too. But speaking of the changes, really, this is, I believe, your first full band record compared to the previous couple that you've released. Tell us a bit about the reason why you did that.
Sure thing. It's kind of our first full band album and kind of not. This is the first time where I thought, I've been working with this group of friends for long enough. I really just want to make sure they get the credit too. I do probably bring 80% of the ideas and the lyrics and all that, but it takes a team. It's a team sport to really push it over the finish line. That and our show is a live band show. Our album is a live band album. I want to reflect that and proclaim it, It's not just me.
And do you think going forward it's going to be a more collaborative affair, or do you think it's kind of still going to be your project?
I'd still like it to be my project because I really want it to reflect my thoughts and my brain. But you share a lot of ideas and experiences with the people around you. So wherever my friends and my bandmates can complement with ideas or finished thoughts, it's kind of the best way to put it. It's we're finishing each other's sentences. And as long as you feel you're connected in that way, it can be as collaborative as possible. They could write the whole thing as long as it still feels like my clothes, our clothes.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. No, it does. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'd like to talk a bit about the writing process as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
How do they start off? I've got my notes app, and I'll hum something into my phone on the way home from the pub one night, or I'll have a small lyrical idea that won't look like anything. And eventually, all these little raindrops do finally form a pool of water. And then you can kind of look at that and go, oh, okay, I can work with this. It's usually a lyrical idea first.
And when you've got those kind of lyric ideas in place, how easy do you find it to then layer it up with the melody and the instrumentation?
That's the part I struggle with more. That's where typically the bandmates come in more. Lots of them are full-time musicians. I have to split my time, and I find I might have one musical idea, but you might need two or three to kind of feel like the song's finished or goes somewhere.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And when it comes to the lyrics themselves, do they have personal meanings to them at times, or is it a case of finding words and fitting sentences so that makes sense?
No, it's always very personal. It's very personal. It might not be from one person that I'm talking about or one experience that I'm talking about. It's kind of my life in a blender. And I hope that this is a terrible analogy. I hope the guacamole is still chunky enough to kind of know, what the pieces of it were. I'm not trying to blend all my experiences together too much, but I also don't want you to go, oh, he's talking about this friend or this ex-partner or something like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And people want to see you playing these new songs live, and they get to do that if they're in Canada, because you've got some dates of those in May and June. I bet you can't wait to be doing some more shows.
That's right. Yeah, we're really excited to be playing some more shows. We have Toronto, Hamilton, Montreal, my hometown, Edmonton, and the band, most of their hometown in Calgary. We'd love to come back to the UK as soon as possible. We're hoping for later this year.
That's great to hear. And obviously, aside from these UK dates that you're hoping to add in, is there anywhere else you're hoping to play this year?
This year, well, we have a couple festival announcements in Canada that we're very excited to announce as well. Festivals are always so amazing, but really this year is about getting the album out and seeing how it goes. And this is, look, I'm talking to you. You're located in Bristol, correct?
Near enough, yeah.
Near enough, sorry. It's amazing to just see what it does. Sometimes it can be tough to plan a tour without knowing how are people going to react to it. So more than likely, we'll either come do Germany and the UK and France and Netherlands. Maybe we'll come do that later this year or early next year once the album's seeped in a little.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Is there anywhere that you've not been to yet that you want to go and play at some point?
It's a tough one. I'd love to go play through the US, but it's a very, very loaded situation to do that. There's just some of those cities you'd love to see, but ignoring that, I'd really love to play through more of Southern England. We love, especially the countryside there. Bristol, we've had lots of fun. It's a real party town. Brighton, we've played The Great Escape. We love being in the UK because everything's so dense and everything changes from half an hour down the road. We don't have that here. You got to drive 10 hours to get any difference.
Or fly in your case.
Or fly, yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with St.Arnaud to talk about new music and more. Now, if you're listening to us on Spotify, then you'll be pleased to hear we also have a Spotify playlist. It's called Fresh, and it brings you 150 brand new up-and-coming artists that we feel like you might just enjoy yourselves. If you want to check that out, search Fresh by The Sound Lab on Spotify or head to the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk, and click on the Fresh playlist button. So while you go and check out our Fresh playlist on Spotify and give it to save to listen to later on, of course, we've got our next interview from the Grahams. Had a chat with them about new music and more, and this is what they had to say. So, the Grahams, how are you?
Very well.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Good, great to hear. And we've been playing a single of yours called Worst Parts of Me. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Well, first we're going to have to remember to play this song at the shows because I think this is the song that they're pushing over here. But this is a song about exactly that. You know, we've been together for 38 years, and it's easy to love people in the best of times, but you gotta figure out how to love the worst parts of people in order to stay together. So that's kind of, you know, it's a sweet song. It's not a negative song, but it's a reality check of sort of relationships.
Yeah, nice. And that's off a record of yours called The Bridge, which a deluxe version is out now. Tell us a bit about the record for those who've not had a chance to listen to it yet.
The record, well, it's named because Doug and I grew up together in New Jersey, and across the bridge was New York City, about 20 minutes from where we grew up. We ended up living in New York City most of our life, and so far. And the record really is an autobiographical snapshot of us, the good, the bad, the ugly. We've spent a lot of our time writing music and putting out records that are based on stories we've heard from other people or experiences we've lived through and adventures we've taken. But this song, we turned the camera inside and we really, wanted to write about
inward.
Yeah, inward. We really wanted to write about the hard things, the things that, we don't talk about as much. And we found it was very difficult over the years to write into songs. And so The Bridge really captures our life together from the beginning to end. We really sequenced it, I feel like, in a way that will let the listeners get to know us.
Yeah, nice. And the sound that you made with this record, was it the sound you wanted, or was it kind of how it turned out in the studio as you were writing and recording it?
You mean the 70s AM gold feel?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of intention there. But we were sometimes even surprised at how, close we got to what we were looking for, There were times when we just accidentally stumbled upon it based on the chord changes back and forth. So, this song, for some reason, just would not want to leave the 70s. This album, I mean, would not want to leave the 70s. Every time we would record it, we'd be like, oh my God, this also is another AM Gold song. We didn't realize it when we were writing it, but while we were recording it, we were really glad about it.
I mean, we spent a lot of time, Jim, exploring music from the South and what they call Americana, Southern Americana folk and country. For the last 10 years, we've been exploring that on our first 3 records. And this record, we wanted it to sound like our childhood. We wanted it to sound like the great artists that we grew up with, the Carole Kings and Joni Mitchells and Carly Simons and Neil Youngs and all the people we sat around playing their songs around a campfire. And I think it just kind of that's what it wanted to be.
Yeah.
Nice. And I'm sure you wrote more than what made it onto this record. What happens to those now? Is it a case of trying them again down the line or starting afresh when the time comes?
Well, it's a little bit of both. Typically, our philosophy is to start fresh every time. But we did actually record a record this past summer after recording The Bridge in France. And there was a song or two that we wrote in the sessions for this record
For The Bridge.
that make it on The Bridge, that make it to the next record, which we haven't named yet. But it depends on, like, if you're going for something new, yeah, you just kind of put those songs away. But
sometimes they'll appear at at a performance, we'll bust something out that isn't recorded. But generally we like to start fresh. So, they'll come to our concerts, but a lot of them won't make an album.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'd like to talk about the writing process as well. So for you guys, how do tracks normally start off?
Well, that's a good question.
Writing.
Yeah, we first somebody writes one thing, and then we fight about the one thing for 2 days, and then we push through it every single time. And the songs are always better for writing together. We also, for our whole lives, have written with a dear friend of ours, who's a high school friend of ours from elementary school, really. His name is Brian McCann, and he's written with us
for
our
30
whole
years.
lives. But on this record, we took a break from that writing relationship, and we recorded and wrote this record all with Nashville folks. And down in Nashville, we had some Nashville co-writers come in, and we sang with them. We met them and wrote these songs and sang with them. And it was quite the experience. And that's the reason the album turned out to be so introspective. We have never been daring enough to write about ourselves. We've always been writing about the things that we've seen in life. But now for this record, we finally were able to write about ourselves.
I mean, ironically, you'd think that writing with other people would make it less introspective. But for us, they just, held the line and they said, you gotta dig really deep and start talking about the stuff that you haven't talked about. Let your listeners know who you guys really are and not just what you've observed in the world. And so they brought it out of us, and it was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Nice. And the world of lyrics and the world of music are 2 very different worlds. What's it like for you guys kind of combining those 2 together?
Yeah, we live in separate ones.
Yeah.
We always say I hear the world and he sees the world. But we both write both. We both collaborate on melody, harmony, chord progressions, and lyrics. But I would say I generally start on the piano and write a whole melody chord progression, and then I'll worry about lyrics, or then I'll start making up made up lyrics while I'm sort of singing the melody. And Doug always will start with a pen and pencil.
Yeah, I'll usually write
pad and pencil.
I'll usually write a whole song that's like not that good, and she'll help me make it good. And she'll write lyrics that are like completely nonsensical, just words over her melodies.
That's right.
And
words
just be
to fill space.
Cheese and French fries go together, stuff like that. And then
that is not something I would ever write.
Not cheese and French. Obviously, I'm hungry right now. But and she'll like we'll help whittle some of her better lines into actual meaningful phrases.
So we really work well together. But I'm very much a melody a melody person and he's very much a lyric person.
Nice, yeah, nice. And you're over here in the UK at the moment doing some shows. How have they been so far?
So fun. We have so much fun playing over here, and we have a great band with us right now, and so we're having so much fun playing with them as well.
Our guys that have been playing with us for 10 years, and they're from Tulsa, Oklahoma. If anybody knows anything about the Tulsa music scene, it's where it's at in the States. And these guys are just some of the best. And we have been coming touring the UK for 10 years now, and it's always fantastic listening audiences who always come talk to us and want to really get to know us and buy vinyl because we have beautiful pink vinyl with us. And it's a nice change from a lot of the venues in the States.
Yeah, nice. And you've got a couple, like a week and a half, 2 weeks left of this tour at the moment, but nothing else booked in the diary yet. What's your plan afterwards?
Well, we have to get our daughter through first grade. She's got to finish first grade. We've already taken her out for a lot of time to tour, and she loves touring, but and then actually we're going to start rolling out some new songs this fall from the record that we recorded last summer in France, and then we'll do it all again. It's like albums work in cycles. You write them, you record them, you promote them, then you play them, and then you go back into the studio
Start
and
all over
start all over again.
Yeah, and you're normally 6 months ahead of where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly right. So we're almost done with the new record. The bridge for us, we love playing it, but we've listened to it now for a year. We've had it's sort of ready to go for 6 months, I guess. Yeah.
And where have you not played yet that you want to go and play at some point?
In the world or in the UK?
In the world.
Yeah, well, Wembley would be fine. Scandinavia. Man, we'll play everywhere that's like got a fun audience, and honestly,
we've done Australia and Japan and all over Europe and all over the States, obviously.
Yeah.
But our kind of music does really well in Norway and Sweden, and we've been there, but we've never played there. They never invited us. Invite us to play up there, man. We're party.
Who are you talking to?
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with the Grahams to talk about new music and more. Now, if you're loving all of today's interviews, then you can hear them again on our international radio show, Future Hits. It brings you all of today's interviews in an edited form alongside a load of new music and a live session too. And if you want to check out that and our other international radio shows, Pop Punk and Christmas, of course, then head to the website at thesoundlabuk.co.uk and click International Radio Shows. So while you go and check them all out and give them a save to listen to later on, of course, we've got our final new interview, and it comes from Judith Owen. She's got a new record on the way, and we had a chat with her all about it. So, Judith Owen, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. I've got my second coffee going, so it's early it's not that early in the morning. It's 10 a.m. here in New Orleans.
Plenty of time to drink your coffee. So, yeah, you enjoyed the coffee. But we've been enjoying a single of yours that's called That's Why I Love My Baby. Tell us a little bit about the single, first of all.
It's actually about my husband. I wrote it. I'm glad to say that people keep thinking that it's like a classic jazz song. It's something I wrote for him because he was refused, as I thought at the time was crazy. He refused to acknowledge Valentine's Day for years, and I would, of course, act out and go into a drama queen fit and cry and sob and all the rest of it. Now, 10 years into this, me doing this on a yearly basis, I realized actually he was right when he said that it's how you treat a person every day of the year, not just on the day that Hallmark tells you to buy a card. So because I'm married, I couldn't tell him that he was right. That is a battle I will not lose. So I wrote this song instead, and it's done very tongue-in-cheek and very joyfully, because it's one of those like you're perfect now change things where it's like you got to love a person for everything they are, and for all the reasons that they don't do exactly what you want them to do. They are themselves. That's why you choose a person. And I'm happy to say that the video that accompanies it, which is on YouTube right now, and it's getting great reaction, was filmed here in New Orleans during Mardi Gras, the Friday before Mardi Gras, and it's set right in the middle of the French Quarter, and it really is it's a love letter. This song is a love letter to my husband, but it's also a love letter to this city that has like really given me so much inspiration and freedom to be exactly who I am musically and as a person.
Nice, yeah, nice. And you've mentioned your husband, and I'll just
Yeah,
jump in. Obviously, it's Harry Shearer, who people will know from the likes of Spinal Tap and The Simpsons and the likes.
correct.
Has he influenced many of your songs over the years?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very hard to. I write about what's happening to me. I'm very autobiographical and very honest and real, and I see life and love, therefore, as being bittersweet, which means that it's wonderful and terrible at the same time. You know, it's fantastic and then really painful. That's what life is. So yes, our relationship, what we've gone through over the years, is always very much. I mean, I write about many things, but I don't write the typical love song, as you can tell by this, when describing this song. I talk about how it really is for all of us, which is, you know, you love somebody and then you bloody hate them in a split second, and then you love them again. That's actually how it really is, as opposed to what you've been brought up thinking that it's meant to be.
Fair enough. And the single that we have been playing alongside the single To Your Door, which I believe will
Yeah.
play after this interview, is coming off
Oh,
your new
fantastic.
record,
Yeah.
Suit Yourself, which is out 24th of April. What can we expect to hear on the record?
Oh my gosh, somebody just said to me, is it too much to describe it as a gumbo of like, it's just so much, has so much variety, has so much dynamic. Yes, it does. It covers everything that I do and love stylistically and have always done, but it's absolutely the whole package now. That's why it's called Suit Yourself. It really is my authentic self. It's jazz, it's blues, it's pop, it's a bit of rock in there. It's gospel, it's singer-songwriter, there's some tastes of classical in there too. It's exactly who I am, who I was brought up being. And it's basically an album that's about finding joy in the face of adversity. It's something I think we all know really well right now. I mean, I think there's not a person on this planet who doesn't appreciate right now how important it is and how hard it is to find those moments of real joy when seemingly there's so much madness in the world, as far as that, it is a scary place right now. And so I've always looked to music to be the thing that really gets me through and takes me to, a place where I feel hopeful and where I am distracted and I can escape from that, the fears of life. And I really feel that is what New Orleans taught me, is about celebrating. It is a very celebratory place. It is about enjoying the moment, grabbing life, because you don't know what's coming the next day or the next minute for that fact. And I think that that's exactly what this album is. It's joyful, it's emotional, it's moving. It'll put a smile on your face. It'll make you want to dance down the street. You'll sing along to the songs. That's what it was. That's why I did it, was to have that real connection to my listener, to my audience, of the place that we're in right now, and how badly we all need to see those, as one of the songs is, the blue skies that really are on the other side of the clouds.
Yeah, most definitely, fully agree with that. And the sound of the records, is it the sound you wanted, or is it kind of how it turned out as you were writing and recording it?
Nah, it's the sound I wanted. I really, you never know how these things will work out, as far as you never know whether people will. You can't guarantee the audience response. You can only guarantee the way the music touches you, makes you feel. I can only guarantee that when I'm in the studio, I have to try and get lightning in a bottle, in the way that live, it's so free and improvised an experience, even though it's very, very much, there's an order to it. But then I'm working with jazz and blues musicians here. They can go where they want to go. I go where I want to go, outside of the remits of the structure of a song. You got to capture that thrill, that excitement, when you're in the studio, which is a much harder thing to do. So my job, and the thing I always look for, is to get that performance quality, but then to make it a real recording, to have the finesse that comes with a studio recording, but to still never overdo anything. To get, I record performances. I don't overdub. I don't layer. It's one take. So, and I tend not to do more than a couple, because then you lose it completely because you're overthinking. And that to me is what I have to get, because I think if I get that, if I have that sense that it's authentic and exciting and raw and real, then I feel I've got a good chance. There's a very good chance the audience will feel the same way, and they'll hear it and know that this is honest, but it's like this is music of the soul, and that everyone on it, everybody playing, is really feeling it. They really feel what they're playing, and that, I think, is something that music does communicate completely. It doesn't matter that it's on vinyl or digitally. You can hear it coming across to you when it's real and it's being played with love and real soul.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And you yourself have been releasing music for over 30 years now.
Yeah.
How have you and how has the music evolved over those years?
Well, it's almost 30 years. My first album was 96. So we're getting, it's now 30 bloody years. It will be 30 years in I think it's July when it came out. So, oh, good grief. How does it feel? I feel like I should have released 30 albums, not 15. But, there again, I'm being too hard on myself, I suppose. But how does it feel? It feels like I chose to take this rocky road of being absolutely myself, of doing entirely what I do. I tried, we've all in our lives, I've been down the pop road, I've had the experiences, I've done the big label thing. In the most incredible twist of fate, now I'm having the greatest time in my career. Now, when I have had, like I had when 5 years ago, I brought Come On and Get It out during COVID. And it was this desire to just throw caution to the wind, to be my absolute biggest, most unapologetic self, to get up from behind the piano and be a balls out front woman, And from the minute I did that, and was then able to do that, but also come back to the piano, to be all these things, to be everything I can be. The minute I started doing that was when a light switch just like flipped on, and suddenly I got this extraordinary reaction from my audience, and it's been that way ever since. And now it just gets better and better and better. So I guess I'm the late bloomer that you kind of hope that you'll be when you stick. It's sort of like, if you just stick at it long enough. Somebody once said this to me: if you just keep to like. If you keep doing what you do and are authentic and honest and to what you do and who you are, the world, if you're really lucky, the world will come around to your way of thinking. And that's kind of how I feel right now. I mean, it's really an extraordinary thing. So I could not be happier and more grateful.
Good. Yeah, no, I bet. And I'd like to talk a bit about the writing process as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
I'm always at the piano, writing. I'm usually at sound check. I'm not joking. There's usually lots of things going on at the same. I have ADHD, it turns out, and that helps actually, because it means that to have noise and activity and stimulus is actually what I need. I can't. And peacefulness and what most people need for writing is the absolute opposite of what I need. So it always starts at the piano. It always starts with whatever I'm thinking about at that time, with the mood I'm in, with the feeling I have, because the mood, the tone of the song is going to come out immediately in the style, the tempo, and it usually immediately comes out in the hook, the line, the lyric, and the melody. There'll be a hook out immediately. It's the most extraordinary thing, and I don't know how it happens. I really can't explain it to you, except that it's fast and it comes out in like a big spurt, and I'm so grateful. I'm always scared I'll lose it, and I usually write when I'm start to tell my husband that I think, I'm scared that I think I've lost I've lost it. And then I'll then write like one of my best songs, because I'm in a state of like such fear. But it turns out that that's usually part of the building up to it, the building up. And then I leave it, I go away, and then I come back and write for another like 20 minutes, and I go away. And that's it. That's again, I've now realized. I mean, I've just recently realized that I have ADHD, and I mean, as in, I was diagnosed. I've had it for my whole life, and now it makes sense the way I write. It really does. It's like in these little, like bursts of energy, and and it makes sense of the way that I do everything. It makes sense of the way that I perform. Makes sense of the way that I can have this, like I said, these extraordinary bursts of energy, and then stop, and then back, and then stop, and it makes total sense to me now. But I would say that it's one of those. Writing is a thing of your subconscious being very clear and in the way that it comes out, because it's always, as I said, it's the lyric that it's about, and it's the hook melody that comes out on, I mean, like right immediately together. So that, and that has that's how it's always been for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously you're a solo artist, but when you are on stage, you perform with a band and sometimes
Yeah.
a big band as well. How much influence do you have on what they themselves play?
Oh, huge influence. I'm a terrible control freak, but I'm happy to say that the musicians that I have in my band, in the callers, and the big band's different because then it's arranged, you know. So I've already approved the arrangements. Then it's about articulation. Then it's about the minutiae, the small stuff, because they're reading. But they're New Orleans players, so they're swinging hard because they don't just sit there and play like they don't care. They mean it when they play. It's extraordinary. This city is incredible. But with my band, the callers, I'll hear lines, especially horn lines, that I want. But the thing that I love about jazz, the thing I love about blues and blues-based jazz in particular, is that it is about improvisation. It is about, knowing that when we're playing the song, we're in there, we're doing what we do. And it's always fresh and it's always different. But when these guys solo, they're on their own. That's when they go. And that's what I love, is the freedom in the way that I sing, when I can do whatever I want, where I go wherever I want. I don't ever replicate a performance. Never, never, never. And that's what I love about my band and my incredible musicians, who are all, stars in their own right. When they go, when they improvise, it's like everybody's up in the game, up the game, up the game. And everybody's trying, loving what each other are bringing. And they know the bar is so high because I set the bar already at, okay, this is a high energy, all like balls to the wall, everything you've got. And so, and that's whether it's intimate or whether it's like a joyful stomp. It doesn't matter. It's like it's all or nothing in this world, and that's who they are too. And I'm so glad that I found these extraordinary players who mirror the sensibility of the music that I'm writing, covering, and arranging. There are times when we're on stage together, I swear to God, where it feels like there's one brain between us. And that's what you want in this world, is to feel like you don't even have to speak. Everybody knows what everybody else is doing, and you're all so in sync that it's like when choirs have the heartbeats all like, all sync up. That's the thing that a band aspires to be and to do, and luckily that's what I get with these guys.
Yeah, nice. No, that's good to hear. And speaking of live shows, you've been busy and you're gonna be busy the rest of this year. Tell us what your plans are for doing shows this year.
Well, I this Sunday I play the French Quarter Fest here in New Orleans. I got over a week of solid performances, because it's Jazz Fest, the very famous Jazz Fest here in New Orleans. So I play, oh good grief, I have a launch show on the 25th. The album comes out 24th, and the next day I do the show. I'm featured in 2 piano nights: the official piano night Monday night, the unofficial piano night Tuesday night. I mean, it just keeps going on, doesn't it? And then Thursday I'm at Jazz Fest, Thursday afternoon, with the Callers again, and then I play the closing Sunday at their very historic Snug Harbor. And then in between that, I'm doing like in stores and stuff like that. But then after that, I play New York on the 7th, I play Florida on the 10th, and then I head out back to the UK to do more promo and to play Bush Hall on the 1st of June, which I'm very excited about, bringing the Callers to that as well. So that'll really be my UK launch of the album. You'll be hearing that in its entirety. And then I kind of go home to my ancestral home of Wales on the 4th of June and play a cabaret at the Millennium Centre in Cardiff, which I cannot wait for because it's been too long. It's been so long since I played in Wales. After that, I play shows in France and Switzerland. And then I play the Umbria Jazz Fest in Italy, opening for Elvis Costello, which is going to be incredible, 12th of July. So that's exciting. I'm doing a musical with my husband. I'm in his musical that's playing throughout summer, which is really a thrill. And then I go back to America, more shows, and then I come back to Europe and then finish the year doing another European and hopefully UK tour again. And then it's onto the Christmas show, and then 27 will be more of the same, basically. We'll just be touring. I'll be gearing up for the next album. I'll also be doing a very classical project as well, which is another thing altogether. But my foreseeable future is touring, which thrills me to my core. And then, as I'm on the road, writing new music.
Good. Can't wait. Judith, it's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I hope people will go to the YouTube channel and really see the videos that accompany the new singles, because it's like I said, a love letter to New Orleans, all of the things I'm doing right now, and find me on judithowen.net too. So thank you so much for having me on.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Judith Owen to talk about new music and more. Now, this is the part of the show where we like to throw back in time to an interview we did in the past. And we're going back to 2021. We had a little chat with HRVY on his UK tour. So, HRVY, from 2021, how are you?
Do you know what? I'm tired today. I'm tired of. We've already said that, but no, yeah. I'm good. It's good to be back on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. How's the last few days? Well, the last week or so been on tour.
Yesterday was good. We got a day off, but the day before that we did London, and the day before we did London as well. So we did 2 nights at the Palladium in London, which was unbelievable. I've never been to the Palladium, so it was a great experience, and the crowds were absolutely phenomenal. And then we did Glasgow, we've done Newcastle, we've done Leeds, we've done a few so far. I think we're halfway through the tour right now, so it's not the longest tour, but we're halfway through. But it's it's definitely tiring. I forgot how tiring it was, but I'm loving it. It
fills that void from having 2 years off from touring to actually I'm back into it.
Literally, I put this tour on 2 years ago. So I was surprised that people even turn up. Genuinely, because in 2 years you grow up a lot, right? And you move on. You like different people, artists, different bands, and but still there are people out there. So I'm just lucky that people actually still turn up. So I'm very, very happy.
Yeah,
it's going well.
And you've been releasing new music as well, so that's been keeping you busy.
Yeah,
so tell us about that.
Yeah, I've been releasing new music. I released a few singles this year. I signed a new record deal. I did the NTAs. I opened the NTAs on TV, which is really, really good fun. That was very nerve-wracking.
You went up and got the award as well.
Yeah, we went on an NTA, part of Strictly, which is great. And now I'm back in the studio in November, the whole way through November, to get as much music as I can for next year, because I'll have an EP coming out next year, and then I'll be touring that. So we're back in touring mode, we're back in music mode, which I'm buzzing for. But it was a nice little break, but it was too long. 2 years. 2 years was far too long. I could have done with 2 months. But
no, definitely. EP then next year. What can people expect from this?
Do you know what? Different kind of music, I suppose. I mean, it's still me. It's still going to be HRVY. You still hear my voice, but it's a bit more, I suppose, less dancey. It's still pop music, but it's less dancey. It's a little bit more, I suppose, not I say word chilled. I don't know. It's a bit more kind of like atmospheric-y kind of. I don't know even how to describe it. It's just not as like dancey, like big dance songs. So it's more just around the kind of the pop R&B kind of music, which is the music that I love and I listen to. And for years, I've always said to myself, I'm going to do it as much as I can to get yourself kind of foot in the door. And then eventually do the stuff that I really love and enjoy. And I feel like now that I'm 22 and I'll be 23 when this EP releases. Yeah. I'd like to be able to say, I'm doing the music that I absolutely love. So I'm very excited for this kind of next chapter of my life. I feel like, I've been doing this since I was 13. Yeah. So I've been through the kind of like the teen stage, and now I'm becoming like a young man, you'd say, like an adult. So I'd like to release music that I absolutely love. So yeah, I'm very excited.
You'll grow a beard like me soon as well.
Well, I don't know if it would be as good as your one.
That's next.
Do you know what? I get stubble and I shave every day. Yeah. But I just don't I feel like I would never have an amazing beard like yours.
See, I'm only 28, so I'm not that much older.
Well, you've got a good beard.
You'll get to a point where you give up.
Really?
And this will be you soon.
Can I?
Yeah.
I just want to. Oh, it's a good beard.
It's soft.
It is really. Did you have to condition it?
I do. No. Well, I wash it.
You wash it, but you don't need to. No, yeah. Does it ever get in the way of food?
All the time.
Does it like brush
all the time?
Brush food. See, that would freak me out if it was like.
You got to kind of tuck it under.
I'll tuck it under.
But it's these bits.
Oh, they're the bits that are annoying.
They're the worst bits because they kind of
get in your mouth.
Yeah.
Right. So now tell me about when you had like, the mask. Did you have to like, a beard mask? Or how does it work?
I bought myself. It's like a snood.
Right, so it covers everything.
So it covers right up above the nose and everything. Brilliant. But I do film work as well, so that kind of dents in the beard, and you can't breathe, and it's like, oh.
But let me tell you, it's a good beard.
Thank you.
I'm jealous.
Thank you very much.
One day.
You never know. So next year touring as well. Where are you hoping to be?
Well, I'd like to do all the dates that I've done so far on this tour actually, because I'd love to come back to these places because it's been really, really good fun. But I'd also like to do Europe because originally it was a world tour that I put on sale. So I was going to Asia, I was going to America, I was going to Europe, Australia. So there's a lot of places that I was supposed to be going that obviously everything got cancelled because of COVID. Yeah. So I'd like to at least go back to Europe, which is a little bit closer to here, and kind of do like Spain, Germany, Amsterdam, those kind of places. I'd love to, but we'll see. But I think we actually have them penciled in, so I'm very excited.
There we go, sorted. Yeah. Now I can't chat to you without mentioning Strictly.
No, good.
How was that experience for you?
Really hard. It was good fun. I loved every second of it, but when the show ended, I was glad it ended then because it was just so. There's Mark, if you can hear. That's my tour manager downstairs. No, it was just really, really tiring. It was a very good experience though. I think it was just learning a new dance every week. I kind of had to go in one ear and out the other because you'd be learning different techniques. So one dance you'd have to have only straight legs, and you could never bend your legs. It's like the worst thing you could do. And then the next week, it's like you can never have straight legs. You have to only bend your legs. So everything that you learn every week, you have to kind of forget about it. So it was quite stressful more on the brain than anything. But I made really, really good friends. We still have a group chat with all the contestants in it. It's like the most random WhatsApp group chat you've ever seen. Yeah. Politicians, comedians, boxers. Like literally every walks of life is in this group chat. So it's great.
Hasn't died yet, this WhatsApp group.
No, I don't think it will die because it's like one thing that you do in life that you'll never forget. It's like, I did Strictly Come Dancing, and it's such an iconic show in the UK. Yeah. I feel like I never really want to let go of that. So I met some amazing people. It was great, but I'm glad that it's over because my legs felt like they were going to fall off. So yeah.
Yeah, but you've brought some of the dancing techniques.
Yeah. We're dancing in my set. I mean, I've always done a bit of dancing. I don't think that we're going to be doing any like waltzes or salsas in my routines anytime soon. But it did help condition my brain to learn new dances, so I pick up dances a lot easier now, which is really good. So that was thanks to Strictly.
Good. So obviously with the experience of reality TV, are you wanting to do others?
No. That was the one that I said I would do because it's dancing, and I've always wanted to do something like that. And I just that was the right time and the right place, and I did it. But doing something like I'm a Celebrity, get me out of it. I don't like spiders.
You're not going in?
Nah, never, ever. I could never do that. But that was just the one that I'd do, and I'm happy I did that one, and that's it.
Good. That's great to hear. So, Harvey,
mate,
it's been a pleasure.
It's been short, but it's been great. It's good. It's good to speak to someone, and it's good to see someone in the flesh, and not through Zoom. Even though you don't do Zoom, you do your special one. It's nice to do it in person. So thank you.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Harvey from 2021. That's the end of the show for another week, I am afraid. But don't worry, we'll be back next week. But if you can't wait until then, social media at The Sound Lab, yes, on all the socials. And you can also check out the website at thesoundlabuk.co.uk. And we'll be back next week for another episode of Interviews Unedited. Goodbye.